Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Heather and I'm the Bent Yogi. Welcome to Mindful Monday. A short practice, some gentle movement, breathing, meditation. A great addition to your day, a great addition to your life. Today we'll get started lying on our back. And if you have a yoga block or maybe a blanket, rolled up towel, you might want that today. You might not need it, but if you have it handy, that's great. Let's get started. Come on to your back. We'll actually start in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. Your feet together and your knees wide. And if you have a couple of blocks, you can actually put a block under each knee or a rolled up towel under each knee. And if this isn't comfortable, you can also just simply take your legs straight out or even begin seated. If it works for you, feels comfortable, you can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And let's just take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Take a big inhale. And a full exhale. Taking your time with your breath. And I find here especially, you can really feel the movement of your breath. You can feel your chest and your belly rise and expand, and then that gentle contraction emptying out. You can have your gaze set to one point. You might lower your gaze or close your eyes. Let it be comfortable for you. Definitely feeling that you have the space and the time and the opportunity to lengthen and deepen your breath. And equally the time, the space, the opportunity, the support to really empty everything out. And that being said, you don't have to force your breath. You don't have to force your inhale to get longer. You don't have to hold your breath at any point. And your breathing, what you do with your body, what you do with your gaze, it can be comfortable. But this process of bringing your attention to this breath, this practice of presence and meditation, it can be really challenging. Sometimes it can feel uncomfortable. Allow yourself to be patient with this. Together, let's take a deep breath in. And empty out. Now draw your knees to your chest. Give them a squeeze. And you can make some circles with your knees, moving them in one direction just a few times, and then switching and moving them in the other direction an equal number of times. So balancing out. And still feeling your breath. And then coming back to center, giving your knees a squeeze once more, drawing your knees to your chest. Not forcefully, but gently. You can feel for giving yourself a gentle embrace, right? As you give yourself this time. Now keeping your right knee in. Extend your left leg out long in front of you and gently draw your right knee over to your left.
It's a gentle twist here. Your right arm can come out to the right. You might take your gaze out over your right arm, your right shoulder. And if you have a prop, you can put your prop, your block, your blanket under your right knee, right, for support. You might also find, as you breathe here, the right knee gets a little bit heavier, right shoulder gets a little heavier. And here, you might notice, can you still feel your breath around your ribs, in your chest, in your belly? Are there other places in your body where you really feel your breath? Are there other places in your body that need your breath? Can you move your breath to places where there's tightness or resistance? It might be something that you imagine or visualize. It might be something that you actually feel. You might actually feel your breath right in the tips of your fingers or in the tips of your toes. And then come back to center once more, drawing your knees into your chest gently and extending your right leg long out in front of you and letting your left knee come over to your right. Your right hand can rest lightly on your left knee. Again, you can use a prop under the left knee for support if that feels good. Your left arm can come out to the left. And if it works for your neck, your shoulders, you can turn your gaze to the left. If it feels stressful on your neck to turn your gaze to the left, simply keep your gaze up. And you can have your eyes closed. Again, you might set your gaze, taking your time with your breath. The physical sensations of your breath. The energy of your breath. Right? The strength and the support that our breath gives us. And yet, as we use our breath, we can soften here. We can soften into this present moment. We can begin to soften the tightness in our bodies, any resistance in our hearts and our minds. And sometimes even softening that resistance, we're so used to it. Sometimes that can feel unusual or even uncomfortable, so be mindful of that. Be patient with yourself. And come on back to center once more, drawing your knees to your chest. Again, you can feel for giving yourself a gentle embrace. Now take your feet, your legs straight up to the sky. And here's where I like to use a prop, nice under your hips for a little bit of support. If you happen to be near a wall, you can take your legs up against a wall. And you might play around with it a little bit. Right? The block or your blanket might be too high. You can lower it a little bit. Arms and hands can come to rest gently at your sides. I like palms up. It helps to soften shoulders down. Right? For me, there's an energetic sense of letting my heart lift. Here, go ahead and point your toes straight up to the sky. And you can add in a little effort here. So you feel maybe sensation on the front of your legs. And then soften your toes, press your heels up towards the sky, pull your toes down towards you. And again, a little bit of effort, sensation in the backs of your legs. Notice if you start to hold your breath, still allow your breath to move generously and freely. And then come to a neutral place with your feet. You can wiggle your toes a little bit, maybe add in some movement. So you can come to rest here, soften here. We'll just take a few breaths here. I find that when I stay with my legs up like this, I usually notice a little bit of movement. Sometimes my legs sway side to side, front to back. You might notice that too. Notice your breath. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. And if you feel unsteady, then you might come to lying flat on your back, right? Or take your legs up against the wall. Allow yourself to feel supported. I find this is a nice balance to all the time we spend on our feet, on our legs. And it's really different. So again, it might feel unusual or uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be stressful. If it feels really unusual, uncomfortable, then again, come to lying on your back. Come into a physical shape that feels more comfortable, more supported for you. Following your breath here instead of following your thinking mind. Take a deep breath in. Then a long breath out. Together, let's take a big inhale. And a full exhale. Once more, breathing in, filling up, bringing your breath to the fingers and the toes, your fingers and your toes, and then emptying out, letting your breath carry with it any resistance, tension, stress. And then if you're on some kind of a prop, like a block or your towel, slide that out from underneath you. Draw your knees to your chest. One last embrace. And this sometimes feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable to think about embracing ourselves, where we are, who we are. Give yourself some credit. Feel that you set this time aside for yourself, to take care of yourself, to connect. And take a deep breath in. Then a breath out. From here, you can roll to one side and slowly make your way to seated. If your eyes have been closed this whole time, go ahead and open your eyes. Still connected with your breath and your body. You might look around so you can connect back into the physical space where you are. And together once more, let's take a deep breath in and empty out. Thank you for joining me today for Mindful Monday. I'm glad you were able to join me today. I'm glad you were able to put some time aside for yourself. If you enjoyed this practice, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this practice with others. If you're looking for something a little more vigorous,
check out my Friday Power Flows or join me on Instagram on Wednesday morning. I teach there live. I'm the Bent Yogi on Instagram from 7:30 to 8 a.m. Again, I'm Heather. I'm the Bent Yogi. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And I will see you soon.